Okay, welcome friends. I am so excited to have a special guest speaker on. My name is Nicole Scott. I have started a beautiful YouTube channel called Own Your Sparkle, really helping women be the best version of themselves. And today I've got Jineen Marie Glover on from Tennessee. She's actually featured in my upcoming book, Get Naked with Your Natural Hair Color. I think you said you're on page 169.
Yes, or 159, I think it is, 159 and 160.
And we met on social media. And when I started deciding to go gray, I honestly needed some inspiration because I was so scared. And I happened to be in this gray group. I don't know exactly which one it was, but I saw your picture. I saw what you did. I was like, you resonated with me so much because I also had very long dark hair. And in this video, we'll show the before and after of Jineen, so you can see what we're talking about, girls. But I saw your picture and I went, oh, that's me right now. I have this long, dark, gorgeous, almost black hair. It's healthy. I feel sexy. I feel young. I feel youthful. And I saw what you did with your hair, which, are you ready for this, ladies? You shaved her head and I just about died. I was like, I can't do that. I can't do that. But this story isn't about me. It really is about Jineen here today because she's our guest speaker. Thank you and welcome for jumping on.
Yes, thanks for having me.
And I would love for you to just dive in and take us back to when you went through that step and process and said, no more, I'm done, and I'm shaving my gorgeous dark mane because ...
Yeah. Well, it's crazy because probably like you or many of us, I was dyeing my hair like every 2 weeks, at least. I mean, I'd probably go a week and it would start to pop up the silver, which now I know why. I didn't really know how bright I'd be, of course, but it was just a constant battle of that. And I got, I was sick of spending the money, sick of, for a while doing it at a salon, which of course is even more expensive, but then eventually just doing it at home. Then I was dealing with the itching scalp, burning scalp, and thinking like, and then the mess, then you got the mess. And then it just felt like it didn't even last. So I'm like, why am I messing with this? So I actually followed a girl also. It's funny how women can inspire because I had followed this girl online and she was my age and I was 43 at the time. So it's been about 15 months ago. And so yeah, I was like, and weirdly, I think in the back of my head, I always had a weird bucket list. Oh, it'd be fun to shave my head one day. Like, I know that's even weird because I just had never done that. But I've done a gazillion things to my hair. So I just thought, this is probably really freeing. It probably feels really good. It'd be nice to not have to mess with my hair. But I didn't necessarily know I'd go that route. I'd seen women growing it out and whatever. But then I kept thinking, I don't know. With my hair being so long, it was literally the longest it had been since high school. And I kept thinking that would be so long to wait for it to be that color. Ends up getting Hodgkin's lymphoma, and she was 15 at the time. And I also used to say, if anybody ever close to me had something like that, I would want to do something like shave my head for them or somehow support them. And so I decided that's what I was going to do. So she hadn't even shaved her head at that point yet because she had kind of just been diagnosed and she didn't live locally to where I was. But I kind of got it in my head, and then I was like, it was around Christmas time. And at that point I'd let my roots grow out about 5 weeks, but I was covering it with, like the color spray, wearing hats because it was winter. And my husband would go, I think it looks like it's going to be cool. And I'd go, oh gosh, I don't know, and then of course I was afraid of like, am I going to look so old? The stigma that we all have in our head. Am I going to look so old? And then I wondered how my kids would react. They were teenagers or whatever at the time. And they were like, they, acted like they didn't even care at that point. And then they're like, gray's super trendy, mama, and I'm like, well, that's true, I guess, So I ended up just shaving it. It was like, we came back from Christmas with my niece. She hadn't even done it yet and obviously wasn't ready to do it. So I wasn't going to bring that up to her. So I thought I can do it here. I can send her a picture and just tell her I'm rooting her on, supporting her, and really to encourage her that, it's not about that hair doesn't make you beautiful. You know, that's not a thing. Even though we think that, I wanted to just encourage her in that way. Yeah, this is 15 months out. So I decided, you know, it's funny because people are like, will you dye it? Or, you know, and I'm like, now I'm like, why would I go back? Like, why would I go back to dyeing? And why would I go back to my head burning and my scalp itching? That would be horrible.
And your color is gorgeous, like just absolutely gorgeous. And
Thank
you know,
you.
I kind of secretly wish I would have shaved my head just to have that experience of being free. And the fact that we kind of started along the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was October 2018. When were you?
Yeah, I was December 2018.
Right. So listen to this, ladies. If you're like, which way do I go?
Yeah.
If she shaved and then had no more appointments at the hair salon other than to maybe start to trim it once you had length. So she saved a lot of money and a lot of headache. But no, I took the hardest route, and I wanted to go from a dark hair to a blonde to a natural gray and do the blending. And in my book, I say that I've probably spent well over $2,000 to try and get this perfect look so that I could go out to the world, you know, look in a certain way. And listen, if I was to do it all over again, I probably would have done either the shave or the pixie cut, one to save time, one to have the freedom. And you know what? Her hair is, I would say, about the length of mine. And look, and I had to spend all that money to worry about it. So if you're sitting on the fence and wondering what route you should go, let's do it. It's freedom.
Yeah.
It's affordable. Take that $2,000 and go on a friggin' amazing holiday, man. Right? So let's dig in a little bit. Why do you think women are so fearful of this, like, gray? Because right now women are running to the grocery store and getting box dye. And they're like, I'm not going to let the world see my gray. Why do you think, you know, what is it? 75% of women dye their hair. Why do you think they're so fearful?
I mean, I really still think it's the stigma that we were told. Really, it's the lie that we believed that, oh, you're old if you have gray hair. And somehow there's always been a double standard with men as silver foxes and women, I guess, look like grandmas or, you know, grannies, or I don't know. And it's just not true. And that's something that even, you know, my husband encouraged me with, like, you know, you're not old. Although, you know, I'm like, I'm not young, but I'm not old. But he's like, but you're not, and it doesn't make you look. And I actually think for most women, it softens your face, and it's actually making you look younger because you're not putting this harsh color. Because when I look back, you know, if my hair was highlighted, it was warmer. But when it was just dark at the root, it was too dark. It's too dark for my face at that point. So in that sense, it ends up aging you, the hair color. And it's amazing how once you go silver, you notice that on every woman. You're like, stop, let it go.
Yeah, I agree too. I feel when I look back at my dark hair, I'm like, wow, it really hardened me, like the hard look. And so now I just feel with the color, it's a nice softer look. And I don't feel older. Ladies, if you think like, oh my gosh, do you feel older with gray hair? I actually feel younger. I feel younger. I feel more useful than ever. It's a mindset. It totally is a mindset, isn't it? And so there might be some women on here that, okay, so I want to go gray. I'm going to do it. But how do I do my makeup? Now you have, like, I love following you. I suck so bad at makeup. Like, I'm like, I don't know how to put it on. My kids are always like, oh, Mom, come here. I want to help you. You're poor thing. But you have discovered how to play with makeup with your silver hair. So maybe you can let people know how they can follow you and your YouTube channel. And because there's a lot of women that go, okay, if I'm going to do this, so I need some mentors. So let the women on here know how they can follow you and get makeup tutorials if you're like stuck like me.
So the funny thing was that I ended up starting an Instagram for my hair, just thinking I'm really for myself to kind of go, I'm going to just show my grow out at this point. Cause I kind of knew I'd shave it and probably grow it right back out. Cause I really thought I would want it long again, which is where I'm headed at this point. But, so you can find me on Instagram, at Jineen Marie Silvery, and then same spot on YouTube is Jineen Marie Silvery. And it's funny cause I started that page as a poetry page. And then it was like, well, it was Jineen Marie poetry. So Silvery just worked right with it, and I went, you know what, we're just going to go with that. And the fun part is I have over 18,000 followers because this really has become such a women's movement. It's crazy. How many women have started these accounts. And I love that we're changing that culture and that mindset for women and giving them that freedom to just embrace exactly who they are right now.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to say thank you again for being such an amazing role model. 18,000 followers. She thought she was going to be a poet. She is a poet, but I think God had a different plan for her. And there's definitely this movement that she's a part of, and she definitely is role modeling a lot of women. So if you need some inspiration, you know where to find her. I want to thank you again for being part of my book. And you can get my book April 25th on Amazon, Get Naked with Your Natural Hair Color. You can dive into her story a little bit more and hear some words and wisdom of why it might just make sense now to ditch the dye for the health of it. Thank you for joining me today, Jineen. We really appreciate it. Love you.
Thank you so much. Love you. Bye.